Jacksonville against Philadelphia. The Eagles win 28-23. Obviously, a good day for Hurts. Pretty good day.
It's crazy, by the way. Like, this was the game that the NFL. I mean, like, whatever. It made sense at the time, but the Sunday night game was what was supposed to be the Sunday night game last week was last night, and they flexed out of that game for Colts Vikings, which.
Delivered as Colts Vikings promised to.
I'll tell you what they wish they had was that Saquon Barkley hurdle, which is out of this world.
And the Devontae Smith catch, which the ridiculous
highlight reel
one-handed
after
catch.
Highlight reel.
Unbelievable. It ended up becoming a very fun game here. I was rooting for Doug Peterson, would have liked to have seen him beat his former team. Tough stretch out. They had a chance. They had a legit chance.
They should have won the game.
That's kind of crazy.
First and 10 at the 13 with a minute 42 left. Why are we throwing jump balls with that time? I don't understand why coaches don't get this. Why are you throwing the ball there? There's a minute 42 left.
Yeah, you control the clock.
The end goal is not just to score on that drive. The end goal is to win the game.
Correct.
And you need to kill clock. What do you think, if they caught that ball, what do you think is going to happen? You reckon Jalen Hurts isn't driving down the field to kick a field goal with a minute 42
against
and timeouts
Jacksonville's
left?
defense?
Against Jacksonville's defense?
Bad awareness.
You needed to take time off the clock. Why are we throwing risky jump balls? It was very, someone who wants Dan Quinn to win Coach of the Year and wants the division.
Yes.
I was very upset that they mismanaged that.
It's very, very frustrating as well. It does feel like that the Eagles are somehow winning in spite of themselves, if that makes any sense.
It
It's
does.
like they should not have – that game shouldn't have been close.
Yeah, Sirianni.
The Eagles are such a significantly better team, personnel-wise, than the Jaguars, right? The Jaguars are on the road. They're hurt. They're beat up. A lot of injuries.
They're up 22-0.
The game should not have been close. And to your point, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw a duck with some more competent coaching on the other side, Jaguars probably win that game.
Like we said at the top, though, the massive story of this, Saquon, 27 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. He also had 3 catches for 40 yards and the touchdown, the longer touchdown. We got to hear from Nick Sirianni on after the game, not just on Saquon's performance, but that insane hurdle.
What I think is so cool, there's going to be kids all over the country and all over Philadelphia. I really think about that, trying to make that play and talking about that play and simulating that play as they play backyard football or pee-wee football. They ain't gonna be able to make it because that play. I think he's the only one in the world that could do that. I thought it was. I'm speechless. It was unbelievable.
Just when you think you've seen everything on the football field, this happens. Art but make it sports, which is just an incredible account with its closest comparable.
Yeah, it's just a kind of play that sort of defies description and gravity.
Somebody is going to get hurt trying it, that's for sure.
Well, and the crazy part is that it's not like he was just running in a straight line and then turned around and did it.
No.
That comes after this unbelievable spin move and the degree of difficulty of doing that. Period. Let alone in pads while being while juking to the side and being chased by 3 other guys. Anyway, all hail Saquon. You see it there on your screen. He's the number 1 running back in fantasy. Not a surprise as he heads into Monday Night Football. He'd be if you drafted today for the rest of the season, he's the number 1 pick. He's been nothing short of phenomenal for the Philadelphia Eagles. All the concerns that happened in the preseason about hey, are they going to dump off to him as well? Is he going to get touchdown stolen by Jalen Hurts? That asked and answered. Unbelievable season for Saquon and and good for Jalen Hurts, by the way. This is what they're becoming. We're going to pass when we need to, but we are a run first team, and it's working. Hurts 4th straight game now with at least 21 fantasy points.
But the thing is, Matthew, is that as much as you're right, those were the concerns coming in, that Hurts was going to vulture touchdowns and he wasn't going to get dump-offs. It's Hurts is vulturing touchdowns.
Correct.
Hurts has more rushing touchdowns than Saquon. He's not really getting dump-offs. He only has 20 catches on the
know.
season, and he's still doing
That's
all this.
Right. That's what's
It's completely insane.
So there's upside.
And those were things that I think I had him at running back 5 in the preseason. I was, I certainly wasn't higher on him than consensus. I had him about consensus, and it was, and I expressed those concerns, and I was both right about those concerns, and then also, but they don't matter.
He's on pace for 2,000 rushing yards.
He's unbelievable.
I think he's gone he's almost gone a little under the radar in comparison to Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry, I think, has had the louder moments in primetime. Yeah. Saquon's had a couple of weird plays as well, like the drop against the Falcons, which probably cost them the game on that screen pass. He had a strange fumble in this one.
He almost, not only that, but he almost cost him the game because, like, he's running for a first down and he takes the knee to try to run clock off, and that ended up allowing the Jacksonville Jaguars to get the ball back. Like, if he just
had the same play against the Browns as well, where he didn't get a first. Like, there's been some weird plays, but he's been incredible overall. And it's like, yeah, Saquon goes for 159 on the ground. Ho hum, just like another Saquon week.
Should he be favorite for Offensive Player of the Year, or do you just think Henry?
I think they should, like, Henry is the material favorite in the market right now. I think that should be neck and neck because Henry is just a way more game script dependent, I think. And Saquon, like, I don't think this is necessarily placed into the odds enough. Like, Saquon's played one fewer game than Derrick Henry as well. Like, he has another game to add on stats because he's already had his bye. And the other thing with Henry is that, as incredible as Henry is, like, plays half the snaps. Like, he plays half the snaps basically. And so Saquon, and also Saquon doesn't have Lamar Jackson as his quarterback, which helps Derrick Henry a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, but like, I wonder, like, but is it also a little bit of a narrative and media-driven award? Because I will tell you that, and I know you have. I've interviewed Saquon a couple of times. I know you have. Like, he's awesome. Yeah. Media loves Saquon Barkley. When you meet him, like, you're like, you're the greatest guy ever. Like, he is that guy. Like, he's incredibly engaging and kind and charismatic. And so I do think that
ties in.
Ties in.
I wouldn't rush to bet Saquon because Derrick Henry's about to get the Bengals rush defense on Thursday night in prime time. So maybe let's see if he doesn't run for 200 yards.
We'll give Saquon comeback player of the year for coming back from being on the Giants for
there you go. There you go. Well, yeah, unfortunately, the Joe Flacco back-to-back comeback player of the year.
You hate to see it with Flacco.
Yeah. We'll get there in just a second.
By the way,
on the Jacksonville
last thing here
side.
is like, we'll see what A.J. Brown gets banged up in this game as well. So that's
sounds like he avoided the worst early indications, but we have a long week to go. So we'll keep an eye on that. On the Jacksonville side, there's not much. Brian Thomas Jr., who came into this game banged up, 2 catches, 4 targets, 22 yards. Our producer, Steven, who does a great job with this show, is a big Jacksonville fan. We're sorry for him. But the good news is he was running the New York City Marathon. So he didn't have to watch this disaster.
There he is.
Great job, Steven.
There's producer Steven. He got some sort of medal. I'm not sure what's going on with a headband.
He came in first place.
Yeah.
Why does he look like he's about to fight with Che Guevara?
Yeah, I know, exactly. He's like an extra at the Karate Kid or something like that. I don't know what's exactly going on. He's ready to go to a low-rent rave. But
Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah. But anyway, producer Steven drinks for free. He is a proud graduate of UCF. He is also a diehard Jacksonville Jaguars fan. So producer Steven, he is resting today. I don't know if it's a well-earned rest day, but yeah, he is resting. He ran a marathon.
He ran the marathon. That's pretty well earned.
He ran the marathon, but I had to walk to get my own water today. So not all.
That's fair.
We all have our crosses to bear. Even though the box score didn't show it, I think it's worth noting Brian Thomas Jr. played 90% of the snaps. They played a lot of, so that was just good that he was out there. Just the production wasn't there because of the way that, it was a weird game offensively for the Jaguars in terms of, we thought Evan Ingram was going to have a monster game. He didn't. You got to see some Parker Washington, who was sort of my desperation play on Fantasy Football Pregame. He was okay. Right. But it was just a weird game all around for the Jaguars. But better days are ahead for Brian Thomas Jr. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.